Right. Welcome, everyone. Today is a special class to benefit the nonprofit organization OutRide. It's an organization that shares a very strong belief that I do as well about how getting kids on bikes is a life-changing experience. I know for myself as a teenager, becoming a cyclist was incredibly pivotal towards feeling better about myself, feeling like I had something that I was looking forward to each day, something I was finally good at in life. And so I'm happy to support them in helping kids get bikes and get involved in the cycling community to make, even just the slightest difference in the world, even just the slightest difference in someone's life. I think it's a very valuable and worthwhile thing. So today, we're focusing on a little bit of core work, and then we're going to do some relaxation, mainly with twists, but some other nice stretches as well to make sure that we engage the body but don't tighten up too much and feel nice and relaxed with strong stability and mobility. So let's go ahead and begin. You'll probably want a mat or a soft surface to practice on. We're actually going to begin laying down. So we'll start relaxing, but we'll get to some recline strengthening things soon enough. And take a few deep breaths, just laying down, doing a scan of your body and also your thought process. Maybe the mind's a little sped up and you can just breathe and notice how it slows down. And try and relax the shoulders, keep the neck long. Legs and spine are long. Take a breath or two more, just feeling the space you're in. And bring the feet together. And point the right foot and lift. Now flex the foot and lower. And point the left foot and lift. Flex the foot and lower. And continue side to side. Nice smooth breath. And finding a really good pace that helps you to feel all the little muscles. This is a dynamic stretch for the hamstrings and a strengthening activity for your hip flexors, and it also works into your abdomen a little bit as well. We'll do a couple more each side. And finishing on the left, bring the knees into the chest. And gently roll around on your back if you'd like, or be still. And then open the arms, take the legs to the left. If they don't come all the way to the floor, put your arm underneath to support how much you need to stretch. And then legs to the other side. And continue doing that back and forth. You can do it in more of a relaxed way where the legs and feet don't have to be together. Keeping the feet together will strengthen the inner thighs a little bit more. And the most strengthening way is squeezing the knees together. Now, if you're already really tight in the hip flexors, that might not feel good, but if it feels good to engage the maximum amount, squeeze the knees and feet together, do the variation that suits you. I'm going to be giving options in today's practice, so always just do the variation that suits you. You don't need to just automatically take the hardest option. That won't always give you the most benefit, so don't fool yourself thinking that it will. Just stay fluid, make sure you can breathe smooth. That's a good sign. When you can breathe, you know you're not overdoing it. All right, very good. Come back to a neutral knees to chest and rock back a little bit. And maybe take a couple little rocks to come on up. And we're going to switch to the hands and knees. We're still just warming up slowly. So take nice hands and knees, kind of neutral with the back. If you have sore wrists, you can have the shoulders less forward, having them above the wrists is a typical form. And then round the back and tuck the chin. Keep the chin tucked, elongate to kind of more neutral. And do that again. If you like, you can lift and squeeze more in the abdominals. And lengthen to neutral and repeat. If it feels good to stretch and squeeze the abs more, you can really make this a strengthening activity. But if you prefer, you can just move the spine gently and have more of a light, fluid warm-up. All right, very good. Now we're going to round the back, tuck the glutes, engage them a little bit, lift and squeeze the abdomen, tuck the chin, tuck under the toes, and lift the knees just a little bit and try and round even more to really squeeze into the core. The shoulder blades are parting, you're lifting out of the shoulders, and that's what helps your upper back to round. And knees down, lengthen to neutral, and go ahead and press the ribs side to side a couple times. And when you're done with both directions, now we're going to do that floating cat again, but this time with a flat back. So a little bit different on the core muscles, very similar. Toes tucked, lift the knees a little bit. I know it looks like my knees are still on the ground, especially because my pants are kind of baggy, but they're just barely lifting, and that maximizes the lower abdominal core strength. But it does engage the back too. So if your back feels really tight, you can lift the knees higher. It should be a little easier. Otherwise, have the knees almost kissing the ground to really feel that maximum core, and then let them lower and release down. Release down and release the hips and thighs, and lift to an easy Cobra. This is using the glutes a little bit, mainly the low back muscles, which are super key core muscles. And we'll lower. Lift again. This time lift the hands, and that will help the chest to open a little bit and strengthen the back a little more. And we're going to come on down. Lift again. Lift the hands. Try and feel the heels work out a bit without twisting the toes in. So try and lengthen the feet back and feel the little toenail, or at least as close to that as you can, connected to the ground. And that will prevent your sacrum from getting overly compressed as the glutes engage. Good. We'll come on down and lift the legs and the chest. Hold. And then send the arms back and try and open the shoulders back a little bit so the chest is stretching open. Don't worry about how high you lift. Focus on how smooth you're breathing. Good. Come on down. Use the core and lift. And let's come up to a nice neutral pose. And we're going to do our first plank. So we've got the shoulders above the wrists or almost that forward. And lengthen the legs with the hips and the shoulders still in the same place. So hips and shoulders are almost level. Definitely don't want to sink like a lot of people do, sink into the low back. Keep buoyant hips without lifting them higher than the shoulders. Firm legs, and really lift and part the shoulder blades like we talked about in that levitated cat. Put the knees down for a sec. So like lifting out of the shoulders, the opposite is like sinking. You see how I'm sinking into the shoulders? That's really hard on the shoulder joints when you're planking. So really take your hands and knees, lift out of the shoulders, and then try it again. Extend the legs, firm the thighs. And now we're going to do a little knee lowering exercise. You put the knees down slowly, all the plank form's still there. Pick the knees up and firm the thighs slowly, and do that a little bit more. Knees down. I call these knee push-ups. They're really good for getting deep into the lower abdominals, which is one of those hard to reach areas. Let's do a couple more. Really strong legs as we're doing this. Good. Knees down. Now the arms might be a little tired. So we'll do a little child's pose, but have the right arm down. And let the tricep and shoulder stretch. Now if you need to rest on your other arm because your head doesn't feel comfortable reaching, you can do that. Otherwise, arm forward. And then switch arms. Keep breathing deep. And then come back to a nice neutral hands and knees. Point your toes. Extend the right leg. Lift just as high as the hip. Lift the left arm. And then switching sides. Extend the left leg. Lift just as high as the hip. Lift the opposite arm. Steady gaze. And then come back to the center. Now lift the right leg and bring the knee to the nose once. Curl in, tuck the chin, and re-extend. Lift the left arm. Now make a fist, flex the ankle, and do a little squeeze with the bicep and hamstring. So squeezing the bicep and hamstring like this is not traditional yoga, but it's good to engage the muscles in all different ways. Traditional yoga doesn't always do enough squeezing on these muscles where they release the hamstrings a lot. So it's nice to balance it out. Let's do the other side. Go ahead and extend. Just do a neutral spine into a roll, rounding the back and tucking the chin strongly so you can really squeeze into the core. And then re-extending, leg just hip level, really long and firm. And then the opposite arm lifts, and you flex the foot and flex the fist and squeeze bicep and hamstring. Keep breathing. Good, and release. Let's go ahead and lower to face down again. Take whatever arm overhead you need to roll to face the screen. So it doesn't really matter which side you do, but you want to see what we're doing the first time. So hold your head. This is a little bit of a stretch through the side body armpit here. Flex both feet, and you're going to want to keep the feet in the same plane. The temptation is going to be to turn this foot up, but keep it sideways, and that will help you to access your lateral core more as we do about 5 lifts. So that's 2. Let's do 3 more. Breathe and move nice and smooth. You have endurance of the breath. Eventually the breath is longer than the movement, but you just want both to be nice and smooth. And that helps the mind and emotions stay steady as well. Good. Do that on the other side. Take the time to hold the head, align the elbow, preferably directly out from the shoulder, as close to that as you can. Strong flexing of both feet. And lift with the leg in line with the opposite leg. Repeat. And do 3 more. Keeping the legs in line may prevent how high you lift, but it maximizes working deep into the muscles, which is exactly what we're going for. So take your time when you've completed your 5. We're going to release down. And then we're going to do a basic locust. We lift the legs and the chest. Try and feel the thighs roll towards each other, so at least the heels stay centered. A lot of times when the glutes engage, the feet kind of go in, the heels go in, and that's hard on the sacrum and fifth lumbar. So keep the heels centered, roll the thighs in a bit, and lower. Good. Do that same form, and then as an option, this time arms extend, and this will strengthen the back even more, and it builds a little bit of tone in the shoulders. If lifting the head too much hurts the neck, neutral neck, just don't drop the head too much. Breathe. All right, and release from that. And come on up into a plank one more time. Strong legs, lifting out of the shoulders, planking. Lift the right foot just a bit. And then switch to the left. Both feet down. Now very slowly lift both legs with complete control. Not just kidding. Bad joke. All right, still holding plank. A little bit of humor helps pass the time. And knees down. Let's switch to elbow plank. Elbow plank, probably the best. If you only do one thing for your core each day, elbow plank is really amazing for the front body muscles. Firm the legs, tuck the glutes, glutes shoulder level, legs very long and strong. The body tends to tremble a little bit. That's good. That's just stress leaving the body. The nervous system holds on to a lot. The shaking helps us to let go. Of course, rest anytime you need if you're feeling overwhelmed. Otherwise, a little bit more. And then we'll segue into the Sphinx stretch. So we'll rest, let the upper abdomen and the chest stretch out, and we'll let our breath slow down yet again. All right, very good. Come on down. Use the core and lift. And we're going to switch to having the legs out front. Draw your hips back. Sometimes it helps to roll up on the end of the mat to sit on a little cushion or sit on an actual cushion or fold a towel. Sit up as tall as you can. If you need help, you can push the hands into the ground to help lift the chest. If you can lift the arms, do that. And the goal is to have a really straight line from the hands down to the sit bones. And this means that you're getting flexibility going in the chest and shoulders. Your hamstrings need to be stretched a little bit for this. And your back gains tremendous muscle tone, especially as we continue to hold and breathe. All right, very good. We're going to switch to one of my favorites, the V seat. So bend your knees, draw your sit bones back, and hold the ground at first. Lift the knees. This is phase one, and this is all you need to do. It's also easy to hold the back of the legs, but if you can reach the arms out, you can do phase two. And then the final phase is to keep the knees high and extend to the V. See how we've made the V seat here? Keep lifting the knees and the chest, and release down. All right. Readjust the sitting bones. Hold the ground, and we're going to tuck the feet in a little bit, and we're going to do the one leg V. So keep the chest lifting, shoulders back, and then keeping the knees the same height. The leg tends to drop, but try and keep the knees the same height and extend one leg part way or point the ankle, extend fully, and then switch. This one's a little less in the abs, but really intense in the leg and upper part of the hip flexor. Good. And then one more time, VC, both legs, whatever level that you need, easy form, medium form, hard form. And we're going to lower, low V, just staring at the toes, and then release all the way down. Nice reclined pose. Catch your breath, couple rounds, and bring the feet together and bend the knees in. Extend the legs, and knees in. Extend the legs. Do 3 more. We're going to do this reclined core set, a few different forms, and then we're going to be done with the hard work and work into the stretching. So keep working, almost to the good part. Maybe for you this is the good part. Depends on how much you love to suffer. Knees to chest. Catch your breath a little bit. And then hands behind the head. Left elbow to right knee. Extend the opposite leg, very long and strong. And switch. And this helps us to strengthen the lateral core as we go side to side in a very smooth fashion. Take a break anytime you need. No shame in that. If you're new to core work, you can always just build up to things very gradually. We're going to try and do about 15 or 20 reps of this, but doing 5 at first and then adding another 5 the next time you come back and so on is a great way to train methodically. You want to be consistent and have patience with yourself. That's what it's all about. Let's do a few more each side. Notice how that nice, smooth pace helps you to really feel all the different muscles. And last rep, and then rest. Take rest. And breathe. We're going to do some bridges. Now you may want to make sure you're fully on the mat. You don't want a pillow under your head, but you do want the softness of the mat under the back of the neck. We're going to bend the legs in, feet parallel, and then lift a little bit. Keep the feet and thighs parallel. Come on down, and if it feels okay, lift a bit more, or just stay with that very partial bridge, and come down. You can hold the belly or have the hands on the floor, pushing a little bit to get lift. And eventually you might lift to more of a back bend, which really tones the glutes and the back muscles. And by coming down slowly, you work into the abs. We're going to do a few more of these, aiming for about 7 to 10. Nice, deliberate, and fluid motions. Sometimes we work fast to kind of get the cardio going, but it's better to do cardio and pure cardio workouts like cycling or swimming. And for strength work, finding that medium pace is really good to target all the muscles and get those little muscles that you might not normally use strengthened. And those little muscles really help stabilize the joints. So you have more likelihood of having healthy back, hips, knees, etc. Stay with the breath. That's the most important thing when training yoga. Do a couple more. Make sure you're not lifting too much into the neck. That's why we don't use a pillow under the head, because it can compress the neck too much. All right, very good. Lengthen the legs and just relax. We're going to do one more reclined exercise. This one's pretty tough. And you could do the first thing we did where you just lift one leg, lower it completely, and then the other. Otherwise, we're going to do an advanced version of that I call scissoring. So you lift one leg, and then you lift the other as you're lowering, and try and pass through the middle position and continue. This will strengthen the abs. Also, it really makes the hip flexors strong, which will help you to maximize that upstroke on your bike. If you don't have good, strong hip flexors, you might end up focusing more on the downstroke, and you can have issues with your knees and back by focusing too much on that and not evenly using all the leg muscles as they're intended. All right, a little bit more. Of course, you can rest anytime. Keep breathing. And lifting the left leg and then lowering it and letting it rest. Bend the legs and open the knees, feet together. And let's just let the hips stretch now. If you feel compression in your low back, you can put something under your feet like a folded towel. Arrange the arms any way that feels really relaxed to you. Sometimes people like to breathe into the hands or arms overhead. If your neck needs extra support, the hands can make an excellent natural pillow. And knees lift. Hug the knees in. And holding the back of the knees. And rolling up. Let's go ahead and bend the right leg. I'm going to show you facing forward, but you don't have to turn. Just bend the right leg and draw the hips back. We're going to be doing a seated twist. So if it's hard for you to not slouch, if it's hard for you to sit straight, maybe sit on a blanket or folded towel. Sit tall. If the knee hurts, you can have something under it. And we'll lift the arms. And then keep that tall position in the spine as you twist to the right. It can be good to look in the direction you twist, but if your neck is sore, just be neutral with the neck. Focus on opening in the chest and shoulders, as well as relaxing the abdomen and the spine. Breathing, feeling how the twist is very calming. Let's take 2 more very deep breaths. Yeah, come back to center. And let's go ahead and adjust to the other side. Sitting bones drawing back, sit tall, arms lift, and twisting to the left. Chest and shoulders open. Nice deep breath. Come on back to center. And we'll go ahead and switch to the hands and knees position. And release the face down. And release the arms by the hips and turn the head to the right, letting the neck stretch. And taking a few deep breaths. Other side. And head comes back to center. We're going to do one more round of the Sphinx. Elbows and shoulders in line. Lift and open the chest. Reach back through the ankles. Try and be still in the pose, but if you need to hang the head and roll the chin around a little bit, then that can be fine if you feel tight in your neck. If you feel like you're tight in your chest, consider having the hands and arms wider. Keep breathing. And we'll come on down. Use the core and lift. And then push into the legs for a nice downward dog. Hips high. And relaxing the head. If your hamstrings are tight, you can have the heels up and bend the knees, but you really want to lift out of the shoulders and have the head down. And eventually ground more through the heels. Take one more really full breath. And kneel down. Right leg steps up. Runner's lunge. Have the knee above the ankle. And work on lifting the chest. This is really nice to loosen the hip flexors, which we strengthen a lot in all these different core work poses. But it's also a good stretch for the spine. If you need to come up higher on your fingertips, if you have yoga blocks, you can try those. You want to take the opportunity to lengthen out the leg muscles and the spine as you breathe deep into the chest. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and switch which leg is up. You can use your hand to help take a long step, or maybe take 2 steps, do a little caterpillar motion of the back leg as needed. So the pant legs, if they're loose, will fall sort of diagonally out. So you want to make sure that it's perpendicular shin bone, measuring the bone as opposed to the cloth. Knee above the ankle. And chest is lifting. Deep, deep breath. Notice how you feel side to side. If one side is significantly tighter, then I would encourage you to do these stretches on your own and do that tight side like twice or just twice as long. Breathe and be smooth. One more big breath. And let's go ahead and switch back to the right side. Big step up. Lengthen the spine. Then put your right hand on the knee and twist. You may notice the shoulders will get tight. And that's in your trapezius probably. Try and have the shoulders low and the chest broad. You can push gently on the thigh to deepen with some leverage. And use the breath to gauge how far you should go. If you can breathe smooth, perfect. If you're starting to breathe ragged, pull back a little bit. Nice. Let's go ahead and do that on the other side. Take your time. And again, with these two-sided poses, 2 sides of the lunge, 2 sides of the twist, see how you feel. Apply the form, knee above ankle, hand on the thigh, twist, pushing a little bit for leverage, but not so much that the shoulders and neck feel tight. Deep breath. And come on down. Switch to a nice child's pose. And if your neck doesn't easily rest your head down, you can fold your arms under your head. Or it might feel good to have your arms stretching forward, whatever you like. Make sure you can relax, recuperate, and breathe. And next we're going to do a seated twist, sitting on the heels if that's possible. Now for a lot of people this hurts the shins or the knees. For some people, it feels like a great stretch. So if you need to sit on a bunch of cushions, it's preferable that you have your shoulders above your hips. You can also bring your legs out, do cross-legged, or maybe one leg crossed over when you twist to that side and then switch. But if you can sit like this, it's a nice stretch for the lower and upper legs. You sit tall and take a nice twist to the right. Deep breath, open chest and shoulders. Only look in the direction you're twisting if it feels good on the neck. Work on letting the exhale out nice and slow. And let's do the other side. And come back to center. Let's go ahead and adjust to preparing to lower onto the back. Make sure there's plenty of room behind you. Roll back and down. And gently take a knees to chest. Open the arms and take the legs to the left with the upper body to the right, keeping the shoulder grounded. You put something under the legs if you need less of a twist, or have the legs further away from your abdomen. If the legs are tucked in a little bit and you put the hand on the top thigh, that will give you a deeper twist if one is needed. Notice how you feel more and more calm doing this reclined twist. This is a posture that's designed to have a great effect on the hips and spine, but ultimately it helps to calm the nerves, which is why we do it near the end of a training session, to feel really calm in our deep relaxation. Good, let's go ahead and do the other side. And again, keep the shoulders down, adapt as needed, arm under the leg, maybe cushion under the leg, or hand on top for leverage. Notice how by keeping the left shoulder blade down, you're integrating the stretch into the mid and upper spine. You may not feel it, but it is happening. It's good to stretch all parts of the spine and really let go into the twist. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to neutral with the legs bent. And then make the feet a little bit wider and bend the knees in. Deep breath. Consider breathing into the hands. This is very soothing. Helps to calm anxiety. And let the tension out with each exhale. You do the glute strengthening exercises, which is a great core muscle to strengthen. Sometimes the iliac spine, the wing bones of the hips, or the joint that connects that to the sacroiliac, that can get a little tight. So this is a nice one to counter that. Reset the sacrum. Yeah. Feet come closer together. Extend the legs. Close the eyes. And just relax. Deep relaxation pose, or in yoga is called Shavasana. You can spend a few minutes here, or if you want to turn the volume off and do a really long, like 10-minute variation, you can. Otherwise, we'll do a few minutes together. Just let the body soften as you let go of control of the breath. Just let it flow naturally and smoothly. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and breathe a little deeper. Wiggle the fingers and toes. And come on back to knees to chest. Come to knees to chest, and then come on upright to a comfortable seat. Sit any way that feels good on your legs and helps you have good posture. We're going to do one clearing breath and then one om. So breathe in through the nose. And let it out, open mouth, exhale. Good. And then breathing in for om. All right. Excellent, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's special program. There is a link in the description below, so please donate whatever you can. All donations are appreciated. If you want to support this cause, but you're hurting financially, like a lot of people are right now, share it with your friends. That's a great way to contribute. I'm doing regular live stream classes on Thursday and Saturday. We do Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa. And I do pop-up classes with other themes. And once a month, I try and do a class like this that benefits a wonderful cause. So thank you to OutRide for doing what they do. If you want to see more of what I do, check out GabrielBenjaminYoga.com. And you can also subscribe and hit the notification bell on this channel to be updated for more content I produce. So in the meantime, be well, drink water, stay safe, and have a great time when you get out to ride your bikes. I'll see you soon. Ciao.